Many individuals, many critics point out towards how online personalities, online personas, as I should say, often tend to be more aggressive. The engagement, the arguments are more hostile in nature than they would be if a person sitting next to you and you're having a discussion with them. Is that the way you see it as well?
I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think previously we'd call them keyboard warriors, where people would just hide behind their keyboards anonymously. I think what we're seeing recently is that's completely changing. We're seeing more hostility, more aggression of people who are no longer anonymous and are just putting out this content directly from their usernames. I disagree with one of the points made about geography having anything to do with this. I mean, I think people are so angry and so hostile that they will equally be that angry in real life, regardless of geography, right? So you're seeing that play out right now all over the United States with these riots, and you're seeing that transcend to digital platforms. I call it the social media wars, and how individual users are navigating it and how brands are navigating it. It's a very challenging and delicate time right now.
Right. Kristen, you mentioned we're seeing this change, almost like this is a transition from a culture that was more tolerant, was more accepting, and now we're seeing more aggressive and more hostile behaviors from online users. What do you think brought about this change?
Well, I think here, at least, we've had people who are in quarantine for many weeks. Not that that's an excuse, but, I think there's a lot of socio-political unrest at least in the United States. I can't speak about everywhere, but here right now, you have a perfect storm of a lot of things happening in the U.S. with justice for George Floyd, it mixed with the pandemic and people locked up and economic uncertainty. You put all of those things together, and again, it's a sort of a massive disaster. And what you're seeing all over the world, right? You're watching that play out in real time on social media platforms. And that is the challenge here. I think we've lost a baseline level of respect for people or businesses. And we're seeing that as people's businesses are being, basically destroyed and lit up in flames here in the United States. We're also seeing that happen online. And there's just a level of tolerance that no longer exists for respect of other professionals, business owners. And so I am seeing other people be very afraid right now of having their businesses basically be trashed online with aggressive behavior. If the rhetoric is something that someone else doesn't agree with, we're hearing about negative Yelp reviews, calling inflammatory remarks to these business owners. So it's a very challenging time to navigate. So some people are staying silent. Others are saying something, but then apparently they're not saying it, right? So it's sort of this environment where you just can't win.
Right.
I think the responsibility is on the individual user versus the platform, right? So I don't think that Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or any of these platforms is responsible necessarily for the decline in, the way that human beings interact with each other. We can't blame that on big tech. There's certainly a lot we can blame on them right now in terms of issues across the board with censorship or how they're handling certain requests or navigating that. But the way that one human treats another human being, regardless of advancements in artificial intelligence or machine learning or anything else that these companies can do, at the end of the day, that comes down to human evolution or lack thereof and how we're treating one another. And so whether Facebook encourages someone with a pop-up or not to rethink what they're going to say, the fact of the matter is that the person decided that that's what they thought was the best thing to write. And that is going to transcend to how they write emails where there is no pop-up to change that. And that is the challenge that we are faced with right now. Why did it become, when did we lose the art to debating other people in a civil manner? In high school, I did a mock trial on the debate team, and that is what we were taught. We were taught the fundamental skills of debating someone without character attacks and character assassinations. And it was about the legitimacy of a point without making it personal.
Right. Kristen, I just
and that is now gone.
Right. To that thing that you're saying, agree with both parts of what you and Adam have said. The thing that comes to my mind, the example that comes to my mind is when Instagram for a while would hide the like buttons so that would discourage, that was their argument for that it would discourage hate posts, bullying, and to see how users in fact interact with that tool of validation or how many likes you get. And I know at this point, this probably sounds like we're so far beyond this question, but why do we have those tools of those retweets and those likes? Do you feel like that just amplifies the problem we're dealing with, where individuals have more extreme opinions in order to gain that validation or attraction online?
I mean, so I think the like button, or at least Instagram trying to do that, isn't as much of the issue. The place I see this be a larger issue on is Facebook right now in the comment thread. And so again, as the other guest said, the more comments that those posts receive, the higher up that is shown in Facebook's algorithm, to the point that if you want to sort of slow that down, you have to temporarily hide the post so that only you can see it and that other people can't see it, to try and slow that engagement down. And so it's almost like this wildfire that takes off, that once you start posting, once you start engaging, you could suddenly find yourself embroiled in a heated debate and lose your whole weekend to it, only to realize, was it worth it? And I think that many people are coming to the conclusion that no, it wasn't, because of the toll that this takes on your mental health. There's been numerous studies about increased usage of Facebook leading to depression, and that when people take a break from that, they are happier. And that's been my experience as well.